All right, good morning. Thanks for tuning into the UNSECURITY Podcast. I'm Evan Francine, my co-host Brad and I. This is episode 93, and the date is August 17th, 2020. Brad, good morning.
Good morning. I don't know
You,
what's time in.
yeah, I know. I had more like in the show notes than what you said, so it threw me off. I was like, wait, what?
Gotta
I thought I had a minute.
keep you on your toes.
Yeah, it's too early for that. All right, also joining us is my good friend and FRSecure's awesome Director of Technical Solutions and Services, Oscar Minks. Good morning and welcome, Oscar.
Hey, good morning, guys. Happy to be here.
Heck yeah. All right, it's been a while since we had you on the show, Oscar, and I'm super excited to talk to you always. We talk after this show anyway, every Monday. But it's kind of cool because we have some cool things to talk about. Your team's performance at DEF CON Safe Mode this year was pretty damn awesome. But before we dive in, we first do our thing. We catch up. So let's do that first. Brad, what's up?
Not much. Me barely. No.
You barely?
Yeah.
You're usually better at this. You're usually better in the morning.
No, I had just a long weekend. A lot of physical activity outdoors, and it was good and getting some stuff done. But man, it wore me out.
Yeah, last weekend we talked. You were kind of tired because you had helped Oscar's team at Safe Mode a little bit.
Yeah. No, I got enough sleep this weekend. I just did a lot of physical activity, and after sitting in my chair for how much? Like 40 hours, Oscar?
Yeah, around 40 hours on a weekend, so it was a lot.
I wasn't used to the moving around and doing stuff.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but it took me most of last week to catch back up, and then even the weekend, I was still felt like my body was catching back up from the sleep deprivation, along with probably like the deprivation of nutrition as well. I don't think we ate nearly as much. I realized that when I got home, and I was so hungry all week that I was just eating everything. Like, I think we should have had more food.
Katie taking care of me, making sure, like, bring me food. So it was nice. I had that going.
Yeah, that's what Erica was telling me when I got back. She's like, sounds like you just need me to go with you guys next year, and I'll just cook food, make sure you eat.
There you go.
So I think we would have been very happy with that.
What is the staple during your CTFs? I mean, you got to have something, right? Pizza.
It always used to be like, well, last year and the years before, the guys would get a giant pizza at least one of the days. When we would get these pizzas when we were in Vegas that were, I mean, they wouldn't even fit in a car. It was funny. The delivery guy, when he brought them to us, had to put them in his trunk because the boxes were so big. And so that was always pretty fun. This year, though, since we were remote, we didn't get to embark on the delicious giant pizza. But it was kind of cool. Me and a couple of the guys from the team, we went to a farmhouse in Stearns, Kentucky, which is in the middle of the Daniel Boone and near the Cumberland Falls and things like that. And so 4 of us were working out of that farmhouse, and we at least did grill some burgers. And once it was all over, we grilled a pretty nice meal. Most of the time it was just snacking on whatever we had around, beef jerky and chips and junk food and, all that good stuff.
How many energy drinks? Do you guys do energy drinks when you're sitting there?
Too many. Yeah, I try to limit myself to like 1 a day of those, just because if I have more than one, I can't sleep and get a little jittery. But I think we brought a case. There was 4 of us, and when we left, I don't think there were any left. I think they were all gone. So some of the guys were hammering 2 or 3 a day, and I heard one of the guys has sworn off energy drinks since then. He says he had too many. So yeah, there was a lot of caffeine ingested as well.
Yeah.
You know how many energy drinks I do?
Too many.
Not anymore, but I was doing like 6 a day.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Just stupid.
That was my reaction too.
Yeah, I don't know that my heart could handle that or my body could handle that. If I have more than one, I get the shakes, and start shaking really bad. So, and then I can't sleep good anyway. add 6 cans of energy in there, and I'm probably not going to sleep at all.
Yeah, you build a tolerance, man. And
Yeah.
after a while, it just becomes sustenance, right? If you don't have it, then you're like screwed. It just keeps getting worse.
Right.
Yeah.
So what'd you do this weekend? Anything cool? You usually fish and stuff.
Yeah, usually fishing. This weekend, I just decided to take a power down weekend and take it easy. I got sunburned on Saturday floating in the pool, so that was a lot of fun. And then,
Nice.
we just kind of took it easy Saturday and grilled some food and didn't do a whole lot. And then yesterday, we got on Endeavor. You can't tell because you can only see this window of my office, but we totally cleaned my office. I put some new shelves in here, set up my old console stereo and record player again, and just kind of
Nice.
did some home projects and some more taking it easy.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I got back from Sturgis on Tuesday, so I've been self-isolating. I don't want to get anybody sick, but I got no symptoms, man. So
Heck yeah.
Crossed.
yeah, I mean, if you're not going to get it in Sturgis, I mean, there's no way in hell I'm getting it anywhere.
Right.
I mean, I could almost bathe in COVID, and I'm not, it's about the same damn thing.
Have you had an antibody test yet?
No, I haven't. But I've heard that those are only like 50% accurate or something like that. Is that true?
Yeah, I've heard the same thing. It's like 55% accuracy rate, something like that.
I cooked this up. Let me see if I can get the damn. I'm having troubles with some display issues on my computer today. I got up early. I'm trying to trying to create some math for auto-calculating crime rates in the United States. There's a lot of counties and a lot of law enforcement agencies who don't really report good crime data in this country. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Makes it a pain in the butt to find, like, what is the actual crime rate here, where I live and where you guys live. Anyway, I'll figure it out. Because it's one less manual thing, when we're doing assessments, you have to go out to Neighborhood Scout and, get an account and do all that other crap. It's a pain in the butt when we can, this is like the year 2020, I think. So we should be able to calculate things.
Yeah.
Steps are bad.
There isn't really good data. What is it? The FBI has some stuff, but it's pretty high
they're
level.
unified. They're UCR, they're Unified Crime Reporting, but that's about, yeah. So anyway, this weekend, I was going to show you a picture of freaking brisket, man. I made a sweet-ass brisket this weekend. It's got a smoke ring like 1/8 of an inch. It's beautiful.
Very nice.
Even 3 teenage girls who were over, because my daughter loved it.
I'd say you did it right.
If they love,
Yeah.
right. If you have teenage girls who are digging, because they don't like anything except for TikTok. I didn't TikTok any meat. All right. Well, anyway, it was a good week. You guys have a busy week this week?
Not really. I was surprised. It's kind of nice getting caught up on stuff.
You want some stuff to do?
I got plenty to do. I just don't have a lot of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, looking like a pretty good week for me too so far. It doesn't look hectic. I like it when I come in on Monday and I don't already have 30 hours of meetings on my calendar. That's a nice feeling. I've only got 15 or 20, so looks like it's going to be a good week.
It's funny when half of your time is meetings and you're like, sweet.
Yeah.
Now you notice the Outlook has a new thing. I don't know if it's how new it is, but where you can set aside time. It'll do it for you automatically. Set aside focus time and all that stuff. Do you get those weekly emails?
Yeah, I get those reports.
Yeah, I see those too.
I clicked it for the first time last week. I was like, what the hell? Give me some focus time. Let's see what the hell it does.
Yeah.
So I have focus time on my calendar this week. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do, but
you're going to focus.
Yeah, on something.
Thank you,
I was just going to sit there staring at the wall, just focusing.
Right. Thank you, Microsoft, for my focus time. All right. Well, good. You guys are healthy. Everybody's healthy, COVID free as far as we know.
As far as we know.
Happy, healthy, and COVID free.
Good. Let's try to keep it that way. As you know, last week we wrapped up the Women in Security series now last week, and I'm not going to get deep into it now, but I certainly hope that everybody enjoyed it. I know that I'm better off, for it.
Sure.
And I wanted to give a huge thank you to Renee, Lori, Victoria, Kristen, Andrea, Judy, Amy, Teresa, and Leanne. We talked. They were all incredible. It was nice that they gave us their time. Brad, what's one thing that sticks out for you from that series?
I think I'm going to have to go with two things because I couldn't pick between just the one. The first was kind of the confidence or self-confidence thing with the difference between the men and women, and just that the women were constantly, I don't want to say questioning themselves, but they felt like they had to be 100% or they wouldn't kind of go for it, versus we're you and I, and I'm sure Oscar, are kind of like, let's see what happens. And so that was kind of a big difference. And then Victoria's story about the recruiter and being told, yeah, you'll get a job because you're attractive, was just mind-blowing.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that was one part that really stuck out, because I've never had that said about me, but you've seen me. Yeah, can you just imagine somebody saying that to me? Well, Evan, at least you got your good looks. Really? Yeah, that one. It was the one part that sort of angered me, because there's so much more to this. We don't get paid for what we look like. We don't get paid for what we look like, regardless of your gender or race or anything else, right? You get paid for what you can do to help other people. So yeah, that was frustrating. I also thought how it was kind of cool where it seems like things are coming together more. I wonder if we would have done the same episode or the same series, maybe 5 years ago, how much different it would be. Because I do feel like we've made progress. It seemed like from all the women we talked to that they were generally positive. They were inviting. I think most of them mentioned mentoring, and either they're mentoring or they're, they received mentoring. So I just thought, I felt like we'd made progress.
Yeah.
So it was good. I like positivity. All right. Hey, let's talk about, we got this Oscar guy here, the bearded Kentucky Wonder. Every time I talk to this guy, it makes me feel like barbecue. What's your hat say on it?
It's Red River Gorge. It's my favorite place, I'd say, in the world.
Red River Gorge. Now, tell me about Red River Gorge.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Tell me about Red River Gorge.
Yeah, it's just it's a forest. It's a nationally protected area in Eastern Kentucky. It's described as being one of the most biologically diverse places in the United States. It is. It's just a magical place. I don't know the size, but there's tons of beautiful mountains. It's world renowned for rock climbing. All these big, beautiful rock bluffs. There's tons of just like pure mountain streams and stuff that exist there. And so I like to travel there whenever I get free time for hiking and fishing, hunting for fungi, and rock hunting, and pretty much anything you can imagine. It's a place for someone to go and just really enjoy some peace and tranquility, and it keeps me centered and grounded, and yeah, just a lot of fun being down there all the time.
Yeah, that's cool, man. This is the first time I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's a jewel. I think it really is. Brad's been there. He's got to visit it before, and it's part of it's near the Daniel Boone National Park as well. But this is a more focused area within the Boone that's under some protection, and it's cool. So there's no development in there. It is the way it is. It's always going to be the way it is, and It's pretty cool. The only one bad thing I would say about the gorge is in the last like 5 years, everyone's found out how cool it is. And then especially you mix in a little Corona and everyone who found out how cool it is wanting to go there. And so it's kind of funny. Most people enjoy their time there, like in the summertime. Me personally, I really enjoy going there like in the fall and the winter time because most of the vacationers and the tourists and stuff like that have moved on out. And so it's a lot less, crowded. There's just not many people there. And it's kind of my favorite time to go to. And, a lot of my enjoyment there is either hiking for trails, like I said, looking for fungi or fishing. And go in the winter time, I can go bushwhack through whatever. I don't have to worry about poisonous snakes and stuff like that. I don't have to worry about running into other people. And so it's kind of my favorite time to be there because we do got some, besides all the tourists that visit, there's some deadly snakes that live in the forest. And I don't know about you guys, but I am personally not a fan of deadly snakes.
No.
Yeah.
No.
They don't keep me away by any means, but just something you have to be aware of when you're there.
Yeah, I'm not too scared of them when they're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my folks.
So 100 sandstone arches.
Yeah, it's filled with these big, beautiful arches. The most famous one's called Natural Bridge. I'm sure, Brad, you've been there too.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. This is giant stone arch you're on top of. It's really a bluff too, and you can see for miles on top of the arch. It's just this crazy thing. It's this natural bridge, and it's probably 30 feet wide and a couple 100 feet long, I guess. And you get up there, and it's just kind of overwhelming to see like how beautiful this is and to see this thing that was just naturally created and exists there. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. It just puts some things in perspective for you.
The other one that is down there that people just I don't think you've heard about is the Moonbow over Cumberland Falls.
Yeah, the Moonbow is magical as well. And that's, happens a few times a year. Eric and I, my wife, we took one time a motorcycle trip down there at night, and it was awesome, man. Showing up and seeing a rainbow in the middle of the night is mind blowing.
Yeah,
That's cool. I was just showing some pictures.
Yeah. So the gorge too, I love it because it's a lot like where I grew up. I grew up in eastern Kentucky. Only where I grew up, it's not in protected forest land, and so just a lot of the environment there has been taken away, and so this area we go to kind of feels like what it used to be. What it should be where I grew up. And so it's a pretty special place. It always just makes you feel good being there.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it was a little segue that I didn't plan, but it's cool. I'm gonna have to get out there sometime. So tell us about DEF CON Safe Mode, and you too, Brad. I heard you did some work with the team also.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Go ahead, Oscar.
Yeah, it was different this year. One thing I'll always enjoy is my time with the team and physical time with the guys. Because, it's one thing when we're on these headsets and videos, it's really nice to connect to people that way, but physical contact and just being face to face with people is something special about that. And so I was a little nervous about that going in because I know that one reason we've always performed so well is because we get to be in the room with each other. And, it's easy to hop from session to session or, just to be able to pop in and help someone and kind of see what people are working on and things like that. And on top of that, continue to build camaraderie. And so this year was all remote. Like you said, it was DEF CON Safe Mode. And so we were all working through Discord. And that was interesting. But it worked out awesome. Number one, I was nervous about it, and then I was very excited on how well we were still able to feel like a team. I think that's a big thing that kind of, I don't know if it sets us apart, but I know it makes us a better team, is the camaraderie and our ability and willingness to help work together and collaborate on things. So we all worked through Discord this year, like I mentioned, and that was pretty cool. The whole team was pretty engaged the whole weekend. And we didn't have video running all the time. Some of us had to come in and out of that depending on how awesome or bad our internet was, the location we were at. But we still, it was nice to be tuned in with the audio and just been able to chat. And we set up breakout rooms so guys could go have focus sessions in specific breakout rooms and things like that. So that was cool. But I guess more importantly, we were able to have some success in a few different CTFs, and I'm really proud of. For the offensive focus, we competed in command and control. And so command and control is like an immersive experience where essentially set up, an enterprise environment to be exploited. So there's X number of systems in there, similar to like I guess Hack the Box or something like that, where you got all these environments set up and then you attack the systems, try to own the systems, get to root level and so on. And through achieving those exploits and being able to gain ownership of the systems, you accumulate points. And so we finished second place in that one. The gang was like in first place, literally 90% of the competition. And then there's an hour left to go in the competition, and the moderator sends out a note to all the participants and says, okay, all right, phase 2, burn down the environment, destroy the environment. So we're simulating, some data destruction, which we've seen before, right, Brad? And so at that point, the guys fell slightly behind as time was ticking away, and we ended up losing by 50 points, coming in second place. Someone else was a little bit faster at data destruction than we were. And I told the guys, don't feel bad. We don't get paid to burn down domains. We get paid to hack domains, and we were the best hackers. So
that's cool, man.
Yeah.
So you had 4 guys in a farmhouse in Kentucky where you were.
Yeah. Yep.
And then would we have 2 in Nevada?
Yeah, there's two guys in Nevada. They didn't work together. They were working separately, but yeah, we had 2 folks in Nevada, another team member in St. Louis area. And then we have another team member who was in North Carolina. And then we had our team members up in Minnesota area as well. So we were geographically dispersed pretty well there, and it was nice to all come together.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So command and control. Now this is the first. So last year, the team, I say, essentially won Warlock Games. Warlock Games wasn't there this year.
Yep. No Warlock Games.
And I can't say I'm unhappy about that. We'll just leave it at that.
Same.
But command, yeah, right. Command and control though. Now this is a new one. Was it new for this DEF CON? I've never heard of it before.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was in previous DEF CONs. It was certainly new for us, and this is a newer CTF. And it was something that the team was, really happy about, because sometimes we complain about CTFs being too CTF-y, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Sometimes they don't necessarily represent real life and the skills we have and, use every day. This CTF, though, was a pretty good representation of utilizing those skills you have in real life to be able to, target a network, just the same, very similar to what we do in our penetration testing. And so that was cool. And also, from all my conversations with the guys too, no one had any complaints about the ethics or the way the CTF was handled. Everyone was really positive. It seems like it was very professionally ran. The guy who was running it straight up made a message at the beginning that said, hey, if you hack the platform, you're done. So don't hack the platform. It's automatic DQ. And so that was nice to hear. And maybe some of our griping from last year led to that. I don't know. I'm sure folks had to hear about that. But either way, it was it was good. It was a positive thing. We were happy to see that.
That's cool. So 200 teams in that, in command and control. And our team Ambush took second. But I love how so really leading until teardown. But, that's awesome.
Yeah, nothing to be ashamed of there, and it was
that's great.
Somebody was just a little bit faster at learning how to delete these systems, and that's okay. We did great.
Super great, man. That's awesome. So then another one. So you guys did 4 competitions, right? In this one?
Yeah, we did 4
4?
competitions. We had 2, I would say, that were primary focus, and 2 more that were worked on as side channels when we had spare time. The other primary focus was the OpenSOC Blue Team Village CTF. And so that one was pretty exciting. We took the incident response team to compete for the first time ever. Historically, our presence in DEF CON had only been red team focused. And so we did, since we're building this awesome incident response team, why not give ourselves the ability to showcase those skills as well? And so we did compete, in the OpenSOC Blue Team Village, which was around 350 teams, I believe. And so essentially we're looking in environments post-incident, and you're trying to retrace what had happened in the incident as if we, do in everyday real world life. And so there was, I don't know how many different scenarios there were. I think there was around 500 flags in the competition. It was huge. And sometimes it felt like the flags were never going to end. But I'd say all in all, it was very similar to, having the team work 20 incidents over a weekend. And so it was really, really cool to come in there. And I was really proud of the team too, because we had no experience in the tools. Our tool sets that we're currently using for incident response is a different tool set than they're using. And when we started the competition too, there were some just server issues with the hosting. I think that they had more participants than they had originally expected to be. And so we're seeing, systems constantly crashing while we're trying to learn a tool or a set of tools. And so the beginning was a little challenging just to kind of get going. But I was incredibly proud though of the guys. I mean, we took, in less than a day and learned these tools, and then we were able to apply our knowledge to those tools and qualify for the finals. So they took the top 20 teams to the finals, and we made it into the finals, and it was awesome. And Brad can remember this. We were just, racing against the clock because the competition was going to end at, I think it was 3 a.m. Eastern time on Saturday. And, we've still got a couple hundred points on the board, and we're all just working together as a team, and like trying to, beat the clock and beat at least 330 other teams to get into that top 20. And it was kind of a surprise even when we finished the board, because I was like, there's going to be more challenges. There's going to be more. And then we finished this challenge and it's the end of the board. And then we look and we're in the top 20, and we just like roared. Everyone was so excited, jumped up and down and did some hollering. And it was kind of funny. Seth was with us in the cabin, and he had fallen asleep on the couch because he'd been doing the red team CTF all day. And he's in the room next to us, and me and Mike Thompson and Corey Hanks, just start cheering. And you see Seth like spring to life. Like he has no idea what's going on, but he jumps up off the couch and he's like, yeah, and he starts cheering. And then you see him kind of snap out, and he looks around. He's like, what happened? What's going on? So, we explained to him, we just made the finals, and then he was cheering again. He was really excited. So, but that was cool. And then I told the team, like after that, it's like, hey guys, first team here competing against 350 other teams from around the world. We just made the finals on a tool set we've never used before. I want to win tomorrow, but I don't care what happens. I'm already proud, and we've already accomplished a lot. So let's don't have any pressure. Let's come in the next day and let's have some fun and, see if we can see how we do. And so the next morning was a little rough because we had worked for, I don't know how many hours at that point, 30 some hours at that point, and running on no sleep. But we get up and everybody was super positive and we're ready to roll. And so they opened the finals board at noon Eastern time on Sunday. And I can't say enough good things about the team. We demolished the board and had completed all the challenges. It was a 3-hour window to complete those. And we completed all the challenges in an hour and a half. And I think we were surprised, weren't we, Brad, when the board was done. We're like, oh, that's it? Yeah, that's it. And so, we checked the board and realized that we came in, ninth place. And so since there were multiple people who controlled the board or completed the board, it was time to finish for your ranking. And our pace was 10 minutes or so off the leader. And again, I mean, when I put that in perspective, it doesn't mean anyone was better than us. It just means that someone was 10 minutes better than us at using those tools this day. And, another thing that I think about too is a lot of those teams that were involved they were on the leaderboard last year too. And so they knew what to expect from the competition. They had already familiarized with the tools. They were able to prep coming in. We didn't have any of that. And we came in and finished top 10 and we're almost there,
What was most impressive was we had the fourth best accuracy, right? When you look at, true false answers.
Mm-hmm.
See, some of those teams were only getting 35% of their submissions were correct. We were at 70%
Mm-hmm.
flags. So, I mean, we were getting the right stuff at first. We were just spamming the board.
Yeah, I agree. Shows our quality of work, and it's like I told the guys afterwards. This is something to be proud of. Coming in and never doing this before, and going up against these teams from all around the world, and not only competing but being right there in the top tier at the end, having a chance to win. And the wins are nice. It would have been awesome to get that first place, but we learned a lot about each other. We grew as a team. I've seen individuals grow throughout the competition. I've seen camaraderie grow. I've seen friendships grow. And all those intangibles to me are much more important than that first place finish. And this just solidifies to us that we're a great team. We're just going to continue to get better.
Yeah, exactly. And you're talking about, these are challenges and these are competitions that teams never done before.
Yep.
And you have newer members on the team that have never done any challenges before.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Really, other than maybe some homegrown CTF stuff that, or something online. So the fact that, to put all this stuff in perspective, I've done, CTFs in the past and, now I'm in management, so I don't really do anything. I just point at stuff. But second place in the command and control, that's amazing, man. We talk about 200 teams competing, and many of our team members never really competing before even.
Yep.
That's amazing, man. And then in the Blue Team Village CTF, accuracy was, and in a real incident response, right, you don't just spam stuff at a board, right?
Right.
Accuracy actually makes or breaks a lot of incident responses. So
yeah,
the fact that out of 350 teams, you guys made the finals, came in ninth place with a tool set you've never used before, and you were accurate in doing so, and still within 10 minutes of the winner. Holy shit, dude. Excuse my language. Holy crap. That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
It was amazing watching the team. Like you said, Oscar, I think Friday we were in the mid 30s when they called it Friday for technical issues, and then just came roaring back on Saturday and Sunday. It was just amazing to watch those guys pick up confidence. And
I remember too, I don't know how many times you heard me, Brad, and I don't know how many times I said it though to the guys, like, don't watch the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Let's stay focused. Slow and steady wins the race.
Yep.
We're going to be fine. And I've seen it in the room, when we were winding down there, the panic on some of the other guys' face. Because we all, we're all competitive. I think that's one reason why we're so good at this type of work is, like it or not, we're going to be competitive because, if it's offensive, we want to get the win, right? We want to be able to own that network or that system. Whether it's defensive, like, I can't quit until I'm able to find all these artifacts to really put together the story of what happened and be confident that attacker is not on our client or partner's network anymore. And so I think that competitive drive transfers into this. And even though, like, we knew it was a new thing going in on the, the OpenSoc Blue Team side, we all still really wanted to win and at least be in the finals, But I seen the panic on everyone's face, like as time was winding down. We got like 30, 40 minutes to go, and we're still not in that top 20. And just kept saying, don't look at it. Don't even think about it. Let's keep going. We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. And then it completely surprised everyone when we finished the board. That's why we had just that roar of relief because, it worked out. We were fine. We were able to, just keep on that steady pace and keep chipping away. And then we landed ourselves in the top 20, and it felt incredible. And it was nice.
Really in the trajectory of the team, where the team is going, wins are going to come, and they're going to be natural.
Yep. Yeah. And,
it'll be
our big wins too, that we're getting from this is like, all these guys that, in that situation that never done those CTS before, they just got a chance to go through 20 simulated incidents in a weekend. And then I've already seen like some of my younger guys, on the team, I've seen their confidence change since that moment. In conversations and in work and in sessions this week. And that's what makes me happy is like, yeah, we didn't get that win, but we got, like I said before, those intangibles. Yes, we got a lot of wins there. There's a lot of positivity that we're going to hold from that event for a long time. And it's going to continue to just make us better people and a better team.
Yeah. You could see it when one of those younger guys would get a flag, you could just see their face. So you could see the confidence growing. Mm-hmm. Like, real time. It was awesome.
Yep. And
so those were the two focus.
Yeah, I don't want to sell the red team short in any way. We're hashtag one team ambush. and I'm just saying, a little bit more. I got to see that experience of the blue team grow. The red team, that's how we've been there before, and we've seen that and felt that a lot. But it's amazing with those guys too, just to be able to go in. And I've seen them this year, how much more we had grown as a team in a year was phenomenal. And not to say last year we weren't awesome or the years before that we weren't awesome, because I think we've always been awesome. But I've seen a huge growth in the camaraderie, the care, the compassion, the leadership throughout both sides. And man, it just made me feel awesome. I'm so absolutely proud of everyone. Red team, blue team, team ambush for the best team. And I'm going to shout it from the roof, man. Everybody's going to continue to hear about us, and I think we're going to do big things in the future, and I'm incredibly excited and lucky just to have all these guys on my team.
Yeah, some of the things those guys were doing are a little scary.
Yeah.
Really impressive.
Well, a lot of them are just getting going too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's crazy, man. So Command and Control and the Blue Team Village, or OpenSock Blue Team Village, were two competitions that you guys went into this DEF CON focusing on. But then there were two other. So, I mean, just to add to the impressiveness of all of this, there were two other competitions that were sort of fringe, out of your comfort zone competitions: the Biohacking Device Lab, CTF, and then Hack the Planet. Tell us about those, man.
Yeah, so the Biohacking Device Lab was essentially, it was a fake hospital, right? They created a simulated hospital environment. And inside of that hospital environment, there were medical devices. Most of those medical devices have been, related to some known vulnerabilities or exploits or security weaknesses in general. There were things like medication pumps. I think there was like a CT scanner. I don't know if it's a CT, but a certain type of scanner that was in there. Just some other various devices you may find on a medical network. I think there was a thermostat in one of these as well. And so most of those challenges were built around, being able to identify those vulnerabilities, exploit the devices, and also be able to learn how that medical data can be extracted and manipulated in that environment. And like you said, that's something that, we haven't specifically focused on as far as a study, those medical devices, right? Maybe even rarely when we get to do work for our partners, those devices are typically out of scope for a lot of internal testing because they are so fragile. Everyone knows that.
A lot of times they're being used.
And they're in use, right? They don't have a lab environment for us to be able to test those with. And so that was really interesting to be able to see, things like the medication pump and how serious the security of those devices should be taken. And in that situation, we have the ability to not only identify the medication pump, we now discover an ability to be able to connect to that medication pump, read the data that's on that pump, which would include the patient records, their history, their medications, and so on. Some doctor records, things like that. But the big thing is learning that channel of delivery for medications and how that you could exploit that vulnerability in those pumps to essentially be able to alter the medications that are administered to that patient. And so, for example, I didn't realize this about those pumps. And Brad, I don't know if you did before this, but for a medicine to be loaded in those pumps, it has to be programmed into the pump. And that medication is then read by your nurse, and the nurse makes sure those medications and the bags are properly attached to the pump. And so just in theory, if someone is supposed to be on a bag of potassium and an adversary is able to access and exploit that pump, we could manipulate that potassium to be a big old bag of amphetamines of some sort. And the nurse is going to read that. And there could be complications with amphetamines in this person's other medication. And they're going to administer those amphetamines to that person. And then we have a real life-endangering situation.
You can straight up kill people, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was surprised at how easy it was to add or change some of that data.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not only can we see the data and steal the data, but being able to manipulate that and the delivery of specific medications and treatments to patients.
Dosage, yeah.
It's something that, everyone needs to take seriously. I know there's a lot of organizations and things like that are trying to help with that. But I think this CTF did a good job of showing security practitioners some real world experience with those devices and some real world scenarios and how that manipulation of those devices could be, potentially deadly to people. And so, yeah, we competed in that. It was cool. It was fun. And team came out 7th place there. And that was something we did on our spare time. We all feel like if we had dedicated more, we could have finished higher, but we were happy with that. It was something
Spare
time. Yeah. So we're still able to finish top 10 there.
You got 4 days, man. There's no spare time.
But we don't sleep, so
or eat.
Yeah, or eat.
Just think, you would have taken first place in all these if you would have done 6 energy drinks each per day.
See if we can get a sponsorship. Bang, Rain, you listening?
Yeah.
Well, and so a little stuff that you wrote about the biohacking device lab. 30 volunteers building the infrastructure, creating the challenges, verifying the flags, solving the support issues. 2 medical devices connected in a volunteer's home, not connected to a volunteer. That's important. 1 CTF vulnerability reported, fixed, and disclosed. 200 players on 150 plus teams from 15 countries. 14,000 plus flag submissions, 5,700 plus solves on 150 plus challenges. So, there's a lot that went into that biohacking device lab, CTF, and for the team, again, to come in 7th place on your spare time. And what the hell, man? Nobody does this stuff.
We got a good team.
You think?
Yeah.
Shit. This guy keeps swearing. This isn't the shit show. That's on Thursday night. Sorry. All right. So the last one was Hack the Planet. Now, Hack the Planet, modern city life stuff, IoT stuff, ICS stuff, things like that. Tell us about that one.
Yeah. So it was, and I didn't get to be involved in this one much, but a lot of the red teamers, again, when they were in their spare time, they were focused on this. So I was kind of chatting with them about it a lot. When this was primarily going on, that's when we were really digging into the OpenSock Blue Team stuff. But so a lot of, devices we're seeing now with smart technology and understanding how to identify vulnerabilities and exploit those devices, like smart locks were some of the things in there. Thermostats, home control systems. I think there was even some, these like dishwashers and refrigerators with the like Brad's talked all about his, right. But with internet connectivity. And so it's a similar thing to the biohacking village, only it was focused more on home life and home users and the technologies that we're deploying. And, folks don't necessarily understand the vulnerabilities and the risks associated with those Arlos, those smart locks, those thermostats, yada, yada, yada. And so it was a very similar platform where they were identifying these devices, identifying exploits and vulnerabilities on those devices, and then trying to apply that knowledge to either extract information that could be useful to an adversary or to be able to use that applied information to manipulate those devices in a way that could be dangerous to a user. Again, that one was, didn't have as much time to do that, but we, in our little effort, we still finished number 16 out of 275 players on the board. So I think that's pretty impressive as well. What to say. It is a super cool competition. I think if we probably compete in that again in the future, I think it's really relevant to our society, where we're going, our people, and being able to focus and learn those technologies is something that I think all practitioners should be thinking about right now to try to help people. And so our lack of focus on that wasn't because of the quality of the competition or anything else. It was just more so we were hack command and control and an open sock and a whole lot. And when we weren't doing that, we were hacking home.
Well, how much spare time do you have, man? Only 24 hours in a day.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the fact that the team even tried to tackle, 4 competitions, over the course of 4 days is incredible enough. Speaks a lot to, I think, the tenacity of your team. The fact that you placed as well as you did throughout is just a huge testament to the skill levels of the members of your team and being able to coordinate like that. But the things that don't come out is just how this team has so much integrity, how this team is so cohesive, how you work so well together, communicate so well together. There's no drama on this team. That stuff doesn't come out in just what place you finished on the board.
Yep.
And that's what gives me 100% confidence that this team will just continue to get better and better. It's led by you. I can't give you enough kudos for how well you're leading that team, how well you put together that team. And people need to know that, man. I know you're the guy, you're a humble guy. You kind of like to sit back and, don't necessarily want to be found, but dude, you have done amazing. I've never seen anybody do what you've done in such a short period of time, to take the team that you started with to the team that you have now. Incredible, brother. Truly.
It means the world to me to hear that. And I don't know. Honestly, I love those guys, love my team. It's like I said before, I just feel lucky to have the opportunity to do this. And I think that's why it works. They know how much I care about them on a personal and a professional level. And I think that's one thing that makes our company special, and that I've tried to give that culture to my team to know that, number one, I care about you. I care about you inside of work and outside of work. And I want to give you what you need to be professionally successful and personally successful. And I think that we all share that camaraderie with each other, and we feel like we are part of the same mission, and we are part of the same mission. And I think that's why it works. And I really appreciate those fine words you said, but I feel like for me, I just had the opportunity to be a curator for a team that was already special, and to be able to pull in more people to make that team more special, and give them that love and support and let them grow, and they're going to flourish. And so, I appreciate the kind words, but I don't want to say it's easy, but man, it is easy when you got a great team like I got. So,
yeah, right. And still the sky's the limit, man. The best days are still ahead.
Yeah, for sure. There's only one way to go, and it's up, and we're continuing to go up. I think we've seen that this year compared to last year. And I got to laugh, one of my guys after the command and control, I was chatting with him, and they said, always bridesmaid, never bride. And I was like, come on, man, that's going to change, and it's not all about the the
All right.
number at the end
So
of
who
it.
is that guy? We're gonna buy him a wedding dress and have it shipped to him. Say, put this on. You want to be a bride? Go ahead and put this on.
There's a good chance he would wear it.
He probably would. I'm not going to say who it is right now.
I know.
But yeah,
Well, and
just
kudos to you too, Brad. I mean, you're not even officially on that team. You're friends with a lot of those team members, but the fact that you gave up, I mean, we talked last week, man. I mean, you gave up your weekend to be part of this team, and I know that some of it's addicting. And that's one of the next year I want to be with you guys. I want to, even if I don't solve a damn thing, just to be a part of it, man. It's contagious.
heck yeah.
So
Yeah, we were
guys
lucky to have Brad there this weekend too. It was nice. He kicked some butt, solved some flags, and it was just part of the team too. And it felt really good having him there. Everybody was excited to be with everyone, and we were lucky to have Brad be part of it.
heck yeah. And Brad always steps up, man. He just steps up.
Oh, for sure.
And
Brad, we won't talk about it, but he's just as competitive as everyone else. Yeah.
More so.
Yeah.
More so.
Yeah. It's kind of one of those things, that's a good thing, especially in the type of work we do. As long as you don't let it cross a boundary where it becomes an issue, right? But that competitive edge, I think, is what makes us great security practitioners. I really do. One of the things, right? There's a whole gang of things that makes us great. But I think to be able to be on the technical side of security, you really got to be a little bit competitive because you can't quit. It's one of those things that, that motivation to go until you solve what you're working on. It drives a lot of us. And so that, it plays perfectly into DEF CON.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. It's kind of nice it was a nice change of pace for me to kind of get back in and dig into that stuff. So it was good.
It was a lot of fun. And I'll say this too, like it's a lot of stress. It's like one of those things where it's so much fun. But I don't know if you felt this way, Brad, but after it was over, like my gears in my head, I was solving flags in my sleep, like Sunday night and Monday night. And I was like, thinking about things in life, like, that were real world, but I was solving flags. And so it took me a few days I call it like landing the plane. Like you were just kind of on this emotional high, and then my gears get so wound up and my brain's continually turning that just to slow it down and bring the plane back to the runway. And then I think that's what happened this weekend. It's like I've landed the plane probably Wednesday or Thursday. And then this weekend, my body's like, nah, you just need to rest. Take it easy. Let's have some relaxing time and come back next week ready to go.
Yeah, I would agree. It was like probably I was on a call Wednesday afternoon with Drew, and he's like, man, you're rusty. I'm like, dude, I'm still trying to recover from the weekend.
Yeah.
It was Thursday before I started feeling like, okay, I'm back.
Yeah, same. I compare it to like, a race, right? You think about like these like Formula One cars or NASCAR or whatever. They put these cars on the track and they run them pedal to the metal until the race is done, for hours. But what do they do with those engines after the race is over? They break them down, they rebuild them, and they put them back together. That's what we did to our brain, and then we had to break it down, rebuild it, put it back together afterwards.
That's a good analogy, man. That's awesome. Well, I'm really proud of the team, proud of you, proud of you too, Brad. I always am impressed with the way you, I'll never forget the time, it was right after you'd started and you just jumped right in to help with the SP mentor program, and you've been, an integral part of that since. But you do that all the time. You just jump in, and for somehow, both you guys set a good example too of keeping the work-life balance pretty well. It's like, how the hell do you do that? I can learn a lot from you guys. I don't do that part right.
I do it because Brad can probably relate to this because I've been there before, where I have been abused, and I have had, a manager or a superior who was totally like they had blinders on when it came to my personal health and my mental health. And it put me to a breaking point and almost led me to leaving for a career change. You know, I was so stressed and disgusted with the industry. And so that's one thing that I've always sworn is that if I have the ability to positively influence people and help people, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to make it a priority to always make sure that I know where my people are with their mental health and tell them to take a damn break. And also lead by example. When I need a day, I'm going to take a day, and I'm going to tell those guys, I expect them to do the same. I have calls every quarter with guys where I call multiple dudes and I say, hey, you know, you've been working your butt off. I can tell you're tired and a little stressed. Why don't you get out of here today and take tomorrow off? Because I think that's what you need. Spend time with your family and refresh. And a little, and it's easy, right? It's just a little bit. I'm always paying attention to how those guys are. So just do the right thing. What would I need in that situation? What would any human need in that situation? Just somebody to put a hand on their shoulder and say, hey, I care about you. I noticed you're a little stressed. Let's take a break. And so I try hard to always do that.
Very cool. Well, I think we can have you back too. I mean, it'd be good to have you back and talk about that more, because it's so often overlooked, you know, just keeping healthy, right?
Yeah.
Keeping a balance, and everybody's got a different balance. You know, you might look at somebody and say, oh, that dude only works, or that lady only works 30 hours a week, slacker. Well, no, that's their balance.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas others might work 60, 70, 80 hours a week. And you say, well, that's just way too much. Maybe, but that's, you know, unless that's their balance, right? Everybody's different. And checking in with them personally is such a huge, important piece that a lot of people miss, man. So good for you.
Yep. Thanks.
All right. 3 news stories real quick. Oscar, you feel free to stick around. You got chops. You can chime in anytime you want. The first one comes from Krebs. You know, I was talking with Brian, about Brian Krebs, about whether he's a nice guy or not, but that's a whole different thing. Microsoft put off fixing 0-day for 2 years. Did you guys see this? It came out just yesterday, I think.
No, I didn't see that.
120 security holes that they fixed in August 11th's Patch Tuesday, last Tuesday. One of those was CVE 2020-1464. And it's about how Microsoft or Windows validates digital signatures, the code signing. You know, Microsoft has used digital signatures for a long time for code signing in lieu of doing sandboxing, right? The Java way is to sandbox. The Microsoft way is to kind of do code signing and all that stuff. Well, this one's been around for 2 years without any fix. Well, thanks, Microsoft, for fixing it.
Stuxnet, here we go again, right?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Right? Who knows, man?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But the important thing here is most people, probably most of the security community, if not all of the security community, except for a small portion, didn't even know that this bug existed. But then Microsoft patches it, and then it becomes known that, oh, this has been around for like 2 years, right? So just because it's been around for 2 years doesn't mean it was actively exploited by everybody for 2 years. It just means that somebody reverse engineered the patches and found out that, oh, what the hell, or tied it back to the CVE.
Right.
But yeah, so 2 years, patch, and I mean, that's like security sort of 101 stuff. You should patch your stuff.
Yeah.
You knew that, right?
Yeah, probably a good idea.
What's that?
It's probably a good idea.
Yeah. Well, there are some attackers out there. There are some hacking groups that will patch your system for you after leaving their back door so they can come back later. You can always wait for that.
Those great guys.
Right. Thank you. All right. Well, the next one is from Tech2, which is First Post, I think. And it's not a regular news outlet that I visit, but this one popped up on my radar. The title is NSA, FBI expose Russian intelligence hacking tool. by
Yeah,
surprise. It's Droverub.
I don't know how to say that, but yeah, you don't usually see governments calling out governments like that.
No, no, especially the NSA. This must have been a tool that the NSA didn't have, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's why they're mad about it.
Yeah, they're mad about it. And like, oh, let's let everybody know quick. So then, we can, because the thing is, if I have a tool, if I'm the NSA and I have a tool, they only release their tools when it's known that they have the tool.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why you see the NSA coming out and say, hey, Russia's got this thing.
It's not us this time. It's not us.
Right?
Yeah.
This
so
hacking tool.
That. It's like
go ahead.
almost seems like it maybe like a C2 for Linux.
Yeah.
Reading about here. Interesting.
I wonder if they're trying to get ahead of it because of the election. If it says that there were same hackers who broke into the DNC in 2016. So a little bit of gamesmanship.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, and they issued a 45-page report about it.
Wow,
that's a big report.
Is the report public now as well?
I believe it is. Yeah, but I didn't include the link. It's not in that news report, but I'm pretty sure you can find it.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that today.
But
or this is either the NSA pointing finger, like you were saying, like gearing up for the elections, or is this a political move? I don't know.
I would go on the political move. It seems like everything's a damn political move nowadays.
Right.
Yeah, Swiss Army knife of capabilities, but targeted at Linux systems. So if you're a Windows person, don't worry about it and don't need to patch. You're fine.
But that Linux server that, Bill from development set up 8 years ago and he left and nobody touches it because you don't know what the application does. Like maybe go check that out today.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. That doesn't happen. Oh, yeah. Well, and what's rule number one after you figure out who does what is, you can't protect the things you don't know you have. So if you don't know you've got a Linux server sitting around somewhere, you should probably go find out that too. All right. And then the last newsy thing I got is from SiliconANGLE. The title is Vulnerabilities in Amazon Alexa Could Have Exposed User Data to Hackers. My suggestion, number one, don't use Amazon Alexa.
My response is, yeah, and?
Yeah. No Alexas here.
Well, the thing is, too, it's like, what percentage of Americans are obese? I mean, it's like a huge percentage,
yeah, it's
right?
a large number.
We're like the fattest. We might be the fattest country on the planet.
Yeah.
You don't need Alexa. You don't even need a remote control. Get up and change the channel yourself.
Let's go back to console TVs, get those beautiful old walnut cabinet TVs, put them on the ground, start turning the clicker.
There you go.
Yeah, but anyway, just like everything, man. I mean, anything that runs any code, anywhere, anytime requires maintenance, requires patching. So, your Alexa, your Google Home, your Nest, your whatever else you're running, at least here with Alexa, you can actually patch the system. A lot of IoT devices you can't even patch.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
So just stay up to date. If you are using Alexa and you can't wean yourself off of it, patch it, I guess. And check with your company too. Now that a lot of people are work from home, check to make sure that using Alexa at home is still okay for policy. Because I've seen a lot more companies now saying that you can't have a home office in the same place where you've got any listening device like Alexa or Google Home or anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So just double check that.
You guys have heard, I'm sure, all about like Alexa accidentally sending transcripts because the user may have said those voice commands but didn't hear the confirmation from Alexa of the voice commands, and then sends full transcripts unknowingly to people of your conversations you're having in the room. So think about that relevance with us here on headsets right now. I know that if I had an Alexa sitting in the room next to me, that she could hear my conversation, and I would never hear the confirmations. And all those hot words that can trigger Alexa to send data, I use all day long because I'm talking about sending something to Brad. And she may say, so you want me to send this to Brad? And I'm on the phone with someone else going, yeah, be sure and send that to Brad. There goes my transcript.
I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Right.
Why do I care you're having carne asada tacos for dinner, man? I don't know.
Right. That's funny. Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Same.
All right. Well, it's that time again. We're at the end of the show, and we get a time. We've kind of created this tradition where we give a shout out or two. And either you guys have any shout outs this week?
Oh man, shout out to Ambush, top to bottom, everybody involved. They get high praise. Best team in the world. One team, love them all, and I'm incredibly proud of every person on that team. And there's no difference in contribution. Big, small, doesn't matter. We're all contributing. We're all on the same mission. Incredibly proud of those guys.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better.
It's unanimous.
Unanimous.
The first time ever on our podcast, we have unanimous shout outs.
Nice.
Right?
Oh.
Or Brad, did you have another one?
No. Hashtag one team.
I kind of talked over you. Hashtag.
One team, baby. One team, one love. That's what we've been saying too.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, great job, Team Ambush. And great job to you guys, because you guys lead. Life is good, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
What else do we have? Questions, suggestions? Send us things. Email unsecurity@protonmail.com. I promise we check it, maybe once a quarter? Maybe?
Yeah. Whenever I'm like, oh, wait, I haven't checked that in a while.
Right. I woke up this morning with 393 unread emails from just the weekend. I mean, who's got time for more email?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, send it there. We will get to it eventually. If you don't hear from us for a while, just either stay persistent or patient. We're just busy. If you're the social type, you can socialize with us on Twitter. I'm at Evan Francine. Brad is at Brad Nye. Oscar, you're a relatively quiet guy online, which is cool. But is there any way you want people to reach out to you, find you in particular? You can say no if you don't.
No, you don't people find him.
Just email me through my FRSecure email. It's totally fine. You can find me on the FRSecure website. All my contact information is there. Reach out via email, and I'll be quick to respond.
Yeah, I admire you for your lack of online-inness.
Man, we can have a whole episode over that if you want.
We should totally, because I have to get out there, because when you lead a company, you're supposed to.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah, it is a little different for you than me, that's for sure. But
I hate it.
I've got my thoughts on it. I think it's a poison environment that leads to depression, anxiety, all the things that are already prevalent in our industry. And I think it compounds that for some people. Maybe not for everyone, but for some people.
Well, now I'm starting to tweet into politics, so we'll see how that goes.
Don't do that, man. It's going to make you more stressed.
I know, right?
Yep.
I'm an antagonist. All right. Lastly, be sure to follow our show on Twitter. It's at UnsecurityP, and follow the companies we work for. Security Studio is one of the sister companies of FRSecure, and that's at Studio Security. And then FRSecure is kind of the flagship itself, is at FRSecure. That's it. So we'll talk to you all next week.